Hello and welcome to Indies on Indie. I'm your host, Patrick Poe, and this is my podcast, Indies on Indie, where I talk to artists and creators about why they create and what they're creating. Today we've got Alfredo Mercado on the podcast, and he's been working with our friends over at Toddy Brothers Productions on their past film, Under the Sun, as well as their new film that they're about to go into production on, Industrial Evolution. You may remember the Toddy Brothers from 3 Indies episodes in the past. They each did one, Andrew Toddy and Sam Toddy, and then they did a episode together. And now they are raising money for their new film, Industrial Evolution. They're trying to get some money for PPE and other safety measures, as well as to pay for the expenses of making a cyberpunk sci-fi film, which is quite a bit. So go over there, help them out. They're looking for $2,000 so they can keep this production as safe as possible while still trying to work during this pandemic, because not creating art is very difficult and it's been a hard year for a lot of us. So go check that out. You'll hear from him in a second. We've got some other things to talk about though. Our friends from the way back, if you remember the Ben Wint episode, they just released a vinyl, is out for pre-order right now, of that new album we talked about on the episode. I really do love their album. I've listened to it a bunch. I blew smoke up his ass when we talked to him, and I've talked about it in the intros, but I really do love that album. I've already pre-ordered my copy. It's going to be a beautiful color, like tealish blue thing, and I'm really excited. So go to the Way Back's Facebook, click that link, go buy their album, go to Toddy Brothers Facebook, click that link, go support some local art. There's so much art to support, and they're all doing awesome things. So go do that. Also, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the new year. I hope that this year goes better for you than last year did. It's already proving to be a wild year. Hopefully it'll settle down at some point. I really hope that happens soon, but who knows. I hope you're making some goals. I hope you're making reasonable goals, achievable goals, because I'm prone to making unachievable goals and then getting mad at myself. So don't do that. Make some goals that you can accomplish, but also reach for the stars. I don't know. Chase your dreams. Do anything you want. I don't care. I think it's really nice to say your goals out loud, to tell someone what you want. There's power in that. So if you can, reach out to a friend and be like, these are my goals. I'm going to do it. And then ask them what their goals are. And I think that'll be really good for you. I was going to do a whole last intro where I talked about my goals and what I wanted out of this year. And then I got really scared because saying your goals out loud can be really, really scary. So I'm not going to tell you what they are on this podcast. If I achieve them, maybe I'll be like, I achieved this goal. It was written on the board. But I don't want to say them out loud to you because it's scary. I really do, like I said, hope that this year goes better than last year did. Last year around this time, things felt like they were going really well. We had a lot of festivals lined up. I had a lot of comedy shows lined up, and I was very hopeful about the future. And then that all quickly fell apart and changed, and I've had to pivot, and it's gonna be okay. It's been okay, but it's been definitely hard. So I hope that this year goes a little bit better. Right now I've got no plans for the future, and so hopefully that'll work out a little bit better, because they say that disappointment is when expectations don't meet reality. So right now my expectations are pretty low. Hopefully it'll meet reality. All right, like I said, we've got a cool guest today. He is an actor, but he's also a rapper under the name Austin Ace. He's got a bunch of really cool music out on Spotify. You can go listen to it there, or you can follow him on any of those social media platforms at Austin Ace. I tell him in the episode, but I'll say it again, that in Sam's new film, Under the Sun, he's in it. He's great in it. Sam expanded his role in it because of how good he was in the audition, and we talk about all this in the episode. But the coolest thing is that he made an original song for the end credits of Under the Sun. So you have to go watch that. Go watch Under the Sun. Watch the end credits. Hear his song. It's truly amazing. And I said it to him. It's the best part of the whole movie. And I think Sam did a great job with Under the Sun. The Toddy brothers knocked it out of the park. He really achieved the vision he was going for. Visually, it's stunning. but Alfredo's song is top notch. So go watch Under the Sun, and then once you love it, you'll want to see the sequel. So go support their new film, Industrial Evolution. But before you do all that, here is me and Alfredo Mercado. I am not hearing audio from you. You can't hear me? All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I can hear you.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I just suck at using Zoom.
I mean, yeah, so am I. I just get guided.
I was going to ask, are you a professional? Have you been doing this all year?
No, usually whenever I do a Zoom call, it's somebody else setting it up, and then they send me the link, and I'm just like, okay, well.
All right, so this is a weird question.
Okay.
Do you want me to put up the episode as like Alfredo or as Austin Ace? And do you have a preference of what I call you during this interview?
You can call me Alfredo. I guess the episode can go up as Alfredo because most of the stuff that I do will be as Alfredo anyway, because we're talking about Under the Sun and acting stuff, which is just Alfredo.
Oh, I definitely want to talk about the music too, though. Well,
yeah. But it's like, I mentioned it earlier that, yesterday I mentioned it, that I haven't really released music. So the most recent thing that I've released was I'm Not Your Enemy.
Yeah, which, don't tell Sam. I mean, I'll probably leave this as part of the interview, but favorite part of the movie is your song.
Thank you, man. I was really excited about it. I thought it was I'm not going to get into the interview. Let's do the whole intro thing.
I don't have an intro. I record an intro later. This is it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're in it.
Well, yeah, it was just reading the script, and I actually wrote the song because of what happened in El Paso, like the whole shooting, the mass shooting at the Walmart.
Yeah.
And I started writing the song because of that, but then I was like, I'm in my feelings. I don't really make music like that. Let me leave it. And then I think a little bit after that, I got the part for Under the Sun, and I was like, oh, now I have to finish this song. And I have to talk to Sam about letting me put it on the movie. And he was like, oh, yeah, I don't have a song for the end credits. So, yeah, that'd be great.
Dude,
and it worked out.
I think that Sam did the best he's ever done, in any project with Under the Sun. It's so far, it's his masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I was watching it thinking, wow, he did a great job. It's beautiful. I'm so glad he finished it because of all the crazy pandemic that's going on.
Yeah.
And the moment it released was perfect timing. And I was watching it and I was like, great job. Good job, Sam. And then we hit the end with your song and I was like, this is fucking amazing. This is great.
Thank you.
And I was curious on, so you'd already written most of the song before reading the script or being a part of the project.
Yeah, I had written the chorus and my verse, but it was just an idea. The chorus was half of it was changed and my verse was tweaked a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, I had a rough draft of what it was supposed to sound like in my head. And it was a lot more rock than it ended up being, but I love the way it came out.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the best place to start with you is with your music, though. Don't you agree? That's kind of where your path, your journey starts?
Yeah. I always tell people that music is what I want to do and acting is a hobby.
Okay. Because so I read your bio on Spotify. You grew up in Austin, Texas?
Yes.
When did you come to KC?
I was born in Texas.
Okay.
And I was there till I was about 10. Then I was in Oklahoma City from 10 to 13. Tulsa, Oklahoma from 13 to 16. And when I was 16 till now, so it was 10 years.
What moved you guys around so much?
Family problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Parents were divorced, so it was I was with my mom, and then they were like, oh, go live with your sister. And then she moved away. My mom came with us, and then they were like, oh, you got to go live with your dad.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we ended up moving with our sister for the for the remaining part of high school.
Okay. Were you trying to do like, was music already a focus in your head? When did that like jump into it?
I was writing like in 5th grade,
Okay.
just from being interested in like hip hop and loving the way that they made music. There wasn't really a sense of struggle for me. Like I didn't notice the struggle while I was in it as a kid. So it wasn't really anything to write about at 10 years old. It
Yeah.
was just like the lunch line or whatever. But as I did it more often, and then around 16 is when I met other friends who did it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we want to do it."
So it was here in
And
KC was the first time you really like...
yes, here in Olathe, I started actually hanging out with friends who had the same goals as me. Ironically, they all quit making music, and it's just me now.
That's what
But
happens. Like,
yeah,
it's a war of attrition to be an artist. Like,
yeah.
it's all about sticking with it. I heard a quote the other day that I loved. They were talking about at 10 years old, we all write poems, you know?
Right.
And like
yeah.
through our teens, like everyone's a poet as a teenager.
Yeah.
The only thing that separates like the teenage poet from the like published poet is that the published guy never quit writing poetry.
Oh, you're cutting out a little now. There we go.
Cool.
I think we're back.
Did you hear my cool poet analogy?
No, I heard the beginning and like the ending.
Well, so they pretty much they say is that everyone's a poet in their teens, and the only difference between a published author and a teenage poet is the published author just never quit writing poems. And I think that that's really how it is with being like an artist, especially like on our level, is that like there's going to be people that we're going to meet throughout this entire journey we're both on, but as long as we don't quit, we're still artists. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And there's 1,000 reasons to quit.
Oh yeah. It's so,
man.
Quitting is so easy. Like, I wish I could quit sometimes.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for my wife because she's always like, "Oh, I feel like I hold you back and that you could do much more without me." And I'm like, I probably would have quit like a long time ago. If I wasn't able to show her the music and her be like, "Wow, you're getting a lot better," or that's a really cool song, or if that wasn't happening in my day-to-day, I would have gave up. I would have been like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that the wives are like, my wife is so important because you need someone that's there that's, they're going to love you because you're failing at everything else. And so having someone that's like, no, it's okay, I still love you, even though you're a failure. You're like, oh, thank God.
Right.
Because I don't love
say it
me.
that way. Yeah, exactly. They would never word it like that, but that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man.
So is that why your rap name though is Austin Ace? Is because you come from Austin, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Originally it was like Ace Motion, and just the Ace part I really liked, and so I was like, how do I turn that into something that's cool?
And alliterations are always the best.
Man, your name is an alliteration, so you know.
I know, my parents were geniuses.
But so I just was like, well, Austin's a first name. I could just do that. And now I regret it, but I feel like I just got to stick with it.
Yeah. I did not like Patrick Poe for a long time. And then people kept being like, no, Patrick Poe's a great artist name. And I was like, oh, good. That's great. Because like there was a long time where I wanted to change it, but I never did because I knew if I committed to any change, I'd end up hating it. And like try to change it again. I was like, that's a dangerous road. Like,
yeah. It's I think your name works a lot for what you do.
Thank you.
And like even like stand up, I think it just sounds really good.
Thank you.
But my name, I feel like for a long time I was like, I always hate when people are like, "Oh, do you go by Freddie or something?" And I'm like, "No, it's Alfredo." And
I would have never even thought to call you that. Like,
it comes up a lot.
Really?
Yeah, and so now I'm 26 years old, and I'm like, damn, I should have let people call me Freddie. Like, that could have worked. So, yeah.
Austin Ace is good. It's nice.
I think it's good. It's just, my brain kind of bugs out when people are like, hey, Austin. And I'm like, look, who are you talking to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There is that, like, because, like, Lolo, her name is a, like, stage name.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you her real name because she'll stab me.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
yeah. But I used to call her by her regular first name, and
Hmm.
then we'd be on set and I would still be using her normal name because I knew her pre Lolo. And
Yeah.
then like actors would be like, "Who are you talking about?" And so eventually I had to change it in my head and be like, "Okay, we just I have to do Lolo because
Yeah.
here comes the cat. Oh goodness. Okay, just sit down or whatever.
Or don't.
Cats are the worst. Oh my god. Do you have
I have
pets?
no, I have no opinion on that.
Do you want one? I've got too many cats. No.
I feel like you only had the one cat last time I was there, when I went to your house.
There
Did
are
you have four?
4 cats.
That's that's a lot.
It is. I love them all. I wouldn't actually give you one of my cats.
Yeah, I would dig
But
it.
no, they're all amazing. There's just one social cat and the other 3 are like if people come over, they're gone.
Okay, that makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, because I only saw the one.
Yeah. Probably the one that's trying to be in the
Yes,
podcast.
yes,
Yeah.
I remember because his name is Grayson, and it always makes me think of Dick Grayson.
That's what he's named after.
I'm pretty sure that this conversation happened that
Yeah.
night, but I was drunk, so
It was a fun night. That was a really fun
it
night.
was a really good night.
So we'll get back to coming to Kansas City and becoming a musician. Were you doing like, because you have an amazing singing voice. Did you have any training or
No. On the song, that's not me singing.
any of them?
Okay. Well,
See,
on the song for the movie, it's not me singing.
I know that I can tell because I can tell
Okay.
like the like
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
of your voice, but like you sing on other tracks and you're
I
great.
sing on Biggest Fan, but I'll just answer the question because I thought you were just confusing. I cannot sing. Everything is basically just tuned. I've taken vocal lessons for like a couple months, but I was so bad at singing that my vocal lessons basically just got me like, if this is average, it got me to like a little below average.
But your voice is so beautiful and you can sing. I really think you can.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you because I hate when people can sing and I say that and they're like, nah, and I'm like, all right. But no, most of the final track stuff is like tuning. It's like fine tuning where even if I'm off pitch, my friend Braille will fix that and it'll be perfect.
Nice. So you can cheat via the computer.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
And I'll take it.
So you didn't have any vocal training then until
No.
Interesting.
So I had vocal training about a year ago for a solid 6 months.
Was it because you just wanted to improve your skills or?
Because I wanted to gain the skills.
Improve your skills. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, no, it was interesting because singing is like one of those things that I thought I was doing right. And then I went to do the lessons and it was like, oh, I don't know shit about singing. Like, this is insane about like being on pitch, about scales, about like all this stuff. I was just like, yeah, I don't know what any of that means. So I sing in the shower.
Do you play any instruments?
No, I recently picked up the piano.
Okay.
And I have a guitar that's just collecting dust. But from the vocal lessons, I saw how much of the instrument part was in the singing, and I was like, man, if I want to understand singing, I need to learn how to play the piano. And so with that, I bought a piano and I've been messing with it, but it's hard to commit.
Yeah, that was like during this whole shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
I downloaded Musician. I don't know if you've heard of that app.
Yes, I've tried it.
Okay. So I downloaded Musician because I was like, I have 3 guitars. I can't play a guitar for the life of me. My wife can't play a guitar. These need to get use or like I got to figure something out. Also, I cannot sing. And I know this because in high school, I was in the musicals and told to lip sync all the lyrics.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been trying to learn. I'm terrible. And it just intrigues me though that like you, because your songs are so good. How do you think the sound of a song and then convey that to someone to make it into a song? Because like you're writing poetry because you write your lyrics, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much you're a poet. You've got a little bit of musical skill. How do you translate that into a song then?
I think right now at this stage in my knowledge or my career, it's more I love music. I want to make that.
Okay.
So it's just a constant listening to music and being like, oh, I want to make something like this. I want to make something like that. I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by people who I can say something like this, and it's going to be like the roughest cut of anything, and they'll be like, oh, I know exactly what you want, and then we can make it happen.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think for a long time as a rapper, rappers are very anti working with other people as far as writing. And for a long time I was like that, but since I've opened up and like worked with my friend Braille, my friend Andrew, and just the whole team of people that I've been working with, now it's like, I have a song, how can we make it 100 times better? Like it's about real feedback, which I'm sure that you guys touch on when you're writing scripts. Like you have to get like actual feedback. Don't just tell me it's good.
Yeah.
Tell me what I can do to make it better.
Yeah, that's I just read the book Show Your Work. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it to all artists.
Mm-hmm.
But in it they talk about everyone wants to be a genius,
Yeah.
and that there is no genius alone. It's about creating a scenius, so a scene of people that are all striving to be genius and encouraging each other and helping each other and critiquing each other to create genius works instead of being the sole genius.
Right.
And so that's incredible that you found that group of people.
Yeah, man. It's awesome because even like they who I consider very talented will reach out to me and be like, what do you think of this? How can I fix it? I don't know what to do with this part. Can you help me with that? And I'm like, you're super talented. What do you need me for?
Yeah. So how did you find these guys? Like being a 16-year-old kid in Kansas City wanting to make rap music. How did you find anybody?
I'll speak to the team that I hang out with right now. They're or we go by the moniker Black Fam Entertainment. And when I first moved here, I heard rumblings of a group of guys who also made music. And as a high school kid who just moved to a new city, I was more like, well, I want to make good enough music to where they hear me and they want to make music with me.
You're like, I want to make music good enough that they hear me, but I don't know how to make music. I can't sing and I can't play an instrument.
Yeah. So it was just mainly ripping off YouTube beats and stuff. Eventually, through mutual friends and stuff, we got together and were able to make music like 6 years later.
Okay.
And then I have one friend outside of that circle who's Braille, who's singing on the song "I'm Not Your Enemy." Him I met in like the worst scenario possible. Like it was like we got booked for a show and there was no promotion for the show. We went to like this restaurant / bar and it was like, oh yeah, just stand in that area and perform. Like I probably sold like 6 tickets, so there was like 6 people there to see me, but otherwise it was just artists. He performed and was super talented, and I was like, man, I gotta work with him. And then from there, what we both consider like one of the worst shows ever, it was like we built this friendship and we've been making music ever since.
Those are like the best shows though, because you never forget them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like...
It's well, I think I would have forgot it if nothing would have came of it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, because I was very upset at the beginning when I was like, man, nobody's showing up. Like, this is kind of trash. And I was like, maybe I actually went live on Facebook just to be like, oh, well, you guys can see me perform.
Yeah.
and now it's just a funny memory because we've been making such great music that it's like, oh, like we met in like the worst case scenario type of show.
So how did Black Fam get together and like, because you're pretty much, it's not a label. What is Black Fam? If you can explain it to me.
We're a team.
Okay.
We help each other with basically anything we need. I sent you some examples. I do vlogs.
Yeah.
For them. And I'm not like the vlog guy. I like to do them for myself. But whenever they need it, I'll hold the camera. I recently went to New York with my friend, and just held the camera for him the whole time we were there.
Yeah, man, I watched the beginning of that video. I didn't get to watch all of it because this was super thrown together, and I apologize.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I was just trying to give you enough to work with. But yeah, so I do some of that stuff anytime that they need help with, like, because we're all pretty much beginners or independent. Let's say independent, since it fits the podcast.
Exactly.
So we're all independent, so we have to figure it out on our own. So anytime that they need help or I need help, we just kind of work it out.
That's awesome.
We just have each other's back.
That's awesome to have a group of people like that.
Yeah.
And you guys, like, do you guys do shows together as, like...
Yeah, most of my shows that I do is because they call them and they're like, hey, we want you guys to perform. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we're performing with our friends. Is that cool? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
That's awesome.
So,
but, like, I'm guessing, obviously, just like me being a stand-up, I've done nothing for about a year. How has that been as a rapper? Like, have you done anything for the past year in that way?
No, there was a point where things kind of seemed like they were opening back up, but we all kind of agreed, like, nah, we're not gonna try our luck.
We want it to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just stay at home and then just keep making music, I guess.
So have you been? I'll ask. Have you been writing? I know it's been hard as a creative to feel.
Yeah.
Not so drained that you can actually put energy into something else.
Yeah. So I've been at the beginning of the pandemic when we first shut down. I was like, I don't know what to write about. Being at home, like, what am I gonna do? But like halfway through last year, I started doing some production with like just loops and stuff, and just figuring out how to make an actual beat. And it was like, okay, well, that kind of sparked something for me to, like, because I was making the beat and able to write to it. And recently I've gotten more into that mode where I'm making the beat and writing to it. And so I'm hoping to release music soon, because
we'll stay on the lookout.
Like, yeah, definitely. I have to come back to the podcast when I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited because I really enjoyed. I haven't listened to as much of your music as I wish I had, but I've really enjoyed, like, all the tracks I've listened to. And
thank you.
I definitely see a theme throughout your music, which I love. It's a lot of it. It seems like is about that drive for success, the desire to succeed, and the willingness to struggle for what you want.
Right.
And obviously, as another creative, I love that, man. Like, that's like, I've listened to rap music since I was a kid, and my parents have never understood because they're old white people.
Right.
That's just what they are. And I'm like, it's about struggle, overcoming, desiring power, desiring something that you don't have, and fighting for it. Like, how can you not love those themes? And, like, you fit exactly into that, like, oeuvre of rap music I love. So, like, it was really fun listening to music.
Thank you. I feel like growing up, that's the kind of music that I kind of gravitated towards. And I think that's why when it came for me to make the music, I was like, well, there's no other music I want to make. I don't go to clubs. I drink, but I don't drink that much. Like, it's not my life. I want to talk about what I've been through and where I want to get to. Yeah,
exactly. Like, the thing that, like, we can all do is be ourselves and present ourselves authentically, you know? And so that's what you do, man. Your music's awesome. It's just a compliment. I don't have anything more. So then when did you decide you wanted to start doing acting as a hobby? Like, when did that come about?
It wasn't that long ago. It was about 3 years ago, I think.
Okay.
So I always wanted to act. I always thought that I was good at it. Very, very naive, first of all. I naively thought that I would be good at it because I was like, oh, you just pretend. It's
you just
easy.
Say words.
Yeah. but but when I actually got to audition, I auditioned for the student film that I sent you.
Yeah. Was that so? That was your first thing you ever auditioned for?
It was the first time I ever auditioned. I was nervous. I was in the car before the audition, like, nah, I don't need to do this. Nah, nope, this isn't it.
Where did you find the audition posting? Like, how did you decide this was the thing you were gonna do?
Just a Facebook group. There's an actors and filmmakers group.
Yeah.
And I saw something about like Olathe Northwest was doing like I guess they have a film program.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I can go audition. I can play this character, and I was like very confident before I actually got there. And then I got to the parking lot and was terrified. But I was like, I gave myself like the worst pep talk where I was like, no, you're good at everything. You're not the best. You're not the best at anything, but you're good at everything you do. You were good at soccer. You're good at rapping, and you can act. And then I got myself in there.
Nice. And you got a role.
And I got the role. My very first audition, and I got the role.
So are you 2 for 2 right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was for a while. There was like a point where I was like 3 for 3.
Ooh.
And I was on a hot streak, and then and then they didn't call me back for a couple, and I was like, that's fair. You know, when you have the audition and it's just like they're not calling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've definitely done that. Like that's the biggest part of acting is knowing that rejection's part of the job. Like,
yeah. I don't think that if I would have been rejected on that first one, I don't think I would have kept going.
I'm glad you weren't then.
Yeah, me too, because I would have been hurt.
I've been hurt. I would have quit a whole dream. Like that would be terrible.
I would have never been on Under the Sun.
I wouldn't have gotten to hear any of your music probably.
Yeah.
Until you made it giant, and then I would like find you, but we wouldn't have had a friendship beforehand.
Exactly. I wouldn't have got drunk at your house.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Man. That's awesome though that you got your first role. That had to have felt incredible.
It did. It was definitely a big win.
What did you think of the process of filmmaking? Like, was it what you thought it was going to be? Because you came into it pretty late.
Yeah, it was not what I thought it would be. It's kind of ruined TV for me. I don't know if you have this. I don't know if you have this, but it's like now when you're watching, you're just looking at a scene like that had to be a bitch to film. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But definitely had long days. I was a supporting role in that first
I watched some scenes.
And I was a supporting role, so it was like I had to be there a lot. Not as much as leads, but I was working a full-time job, so I was like, I gotta freaking go home, man.
Yeah, so it's crazy those like roles that are like supporting and they're in a lot of the scenes, but they don't have a lot to do.
Yeah,
like, those can be some of the worst roles because it's like, well, I need you here every day, but you're not going to do much. You're going to stand over there and be in the background of this scene, like,
or you just wait to act for like a couple hours, and I'm like, just bored.
That's the thing is that like a big part of the job also beyond dealing with rejection is just like learning how to fill that time on set and be patient and still happy, but also be ready when they say like action. You have to be prepared, you know what I mean? And not have lost all of your energy just like scrolling your phone or whatever, because it's weird. It's a weird job.
It is a weird job.
Especially when nobody's paying you for it. It's a weird hobby.
It's a weird hobby, especially if like someone keeps messing up like in the scene or you can't stop laughing. I've had those times where I can't like for the life of me just not laugh during the scene because we were joking off camera. And then it's like, oh, now be serious. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, it's like we were just like all joking and having fun. And it's like, all right, now that person's trying to kill you. Be scared of them. And you're like, but they're my best friend. Like...
Exactly. Like when I had to do some scenes Under the Sun was like very like, a lot of the scenes for me were isolated and it's like, you're sad. And I'm like, everyone's great here. Like, why would I be sad?
I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah. And it's like it's like, oh yeah, that's the acting part, I guess.
Yeah. I guess this is the job and the skill that I need to like learn.
Yeah. But you were actually there for my audition for Under the Sun, right?
I was, yeah, because I've known Sam for a million years at this point, and so I was, yeah. But yes, I was there, and you were great. And like
that audition was insane. I got out of that audition thinking I killed it. Like I've never had that feeling. That was the only time that I was like, oh yeah, I definitely killed that.
I mean, you definitely did. Like, you went in and auditioned for a role that had like no lines, and then he rewrote the script around you. So like, like just like
it was an insane feeling. Like I couldn't stop smiling walking out of there. And I even told my wife when I got home, I was like, I think I killed it. I think I definitely did a good job. If they don't call me, then I don't know. Like maybe I don't know how to act.
If they don't call me, but, those Toddy brothers are dumb.
All I heard was Toddy brothers are dumb.
That's pretty. Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, if they don't call you, they are.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I was so like I think it took. I'm trying to get my bearings back because you were frozen that whole time. So. But I think it took like Sam like a week and a half to get back to me. And I was like, oh man, what if they didn't like it? Like, I was a little stressed.
Oh, that's the worst part. You're 100% right. Yeah. And then like sometimes you just don't ever hear again. You're like, oh, I guess I
didn't get that.
Guess it wasn't me. Yeah.
Then you see it come out like months later and I'm like, that's who they chose?
Well, I'm gonna hate watch that now.
Yeah, definitely start hating off the bat.
Yeah,
look at his hair. Like, come on.
I wouldn't have chosen that acting moment. It might have been better. Like
that was a little much. Yeah, no. But I definitely like even when that's the tough part because even when you feel like you killed it, like I did with that audition, it was still like, maybe they didn't like it.
Yeah,
you know? There's still some doubt there.
Yep, and there probably always will be.
Yeah,
but it's hard. It's a hard, weird thing. Like, but if you have to love it. That's all. I guess you have to love it, and it seems like you do.
I do. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited to start on the sequel later this month.
I'm excited to see what the sequel is.
You haven't read the script?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I haven't seen them as much because quarantine, pandemic, and we're all trying to be as safe as we can be, and like so I haven't read the new script.
It's great.
Good. I'm excited.
It's so great. I just read it again yesterday.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just had to reread it. I was like, we're not going to start filming. I'm just going to read it again.
Well, you should read it like a lot more before you film to maybe prepare like as an actor.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. That actually brings me to a really funny story that I'm sure Sam would hate if I tell it, but I'm going to tell it anyway. And it's not anything bad about Sam. It's actually bad about me, but he hates that I always bring this up. There's a scene on Under the Sun where it's me and Debbie, who plays Stella, where I kind of go off on her for like not understanding my struggle. Yeah. And actually to that, when we had to film that scene, I was very excited for it. And then it got rescheduled. And the day of, I was at home just watching TV, just chilling. And he messages me and he's like, hey, are we still on for today? And I was like, what? So I was like, oh my God, I am sorry. I completely forgot. I get changed into the clothes that I'm supposed to wear for the scene. I have to put the contact in. And mind you, I'm not very good at putting the contacts in at this point because this is probably my second time putting them on. So that's taking me forever. I got tears in my eye from trying to put it on. And I'm just rushing to the location. The location. Yeah, let's just say that. Because not giving out where it was shot. But yeah, I'm rushing to the location. And I don't know the line. So I'm trying to drive and read the script. And I get there and Sam's like, "Hey, are you ready?" And I'm like, "Dude, I completely forgot.
And
I
you're like,
don't
not
know.
at all.
I don't know the lines." And Debbie was looking at me like, "You unprofessional." Like, I'm sure she wasn't, but that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I can memorize it real quick." And so Debbie luckily had a printout of the script. So she was like, "Here, I already know my lines. You can just hold this." And while he was setting up, I was able to like just memorize the whole monologue of me going off on Debbie.
Dude, so I don't know how much Sam has told you about like that rewrite of the script. Have you ever read the script pre your audition?
I don't think I have.
So that scene, you and Debbie, was written post your audition
from my audition.
Your audition.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think you need to know those lines. No.
Like, cause yeah, exactly. I wrote that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that's actually super funny because the one scene that I quote unquote inspired is the one that I completely failed at.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
That's one of the things he told me in the email when he first gave me the role was like, he's like, "You got the role as soon as you left, but I had to show Andrew like your audition." And then he's like, "And I had to rewrite because your part was so good that I'm putting it in the film." And I was like, again, the moment, another feeling like when I walked out of that audition, when I read that message, I could not stop smiling. I was so happy, and I was like, "Man, this is gonna be a great film."
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, how was it? I haven't done what you've done in acting with the like prosthetic on your face and with the contact. How was that? Was that difficult?
It was super uncomfortable.
Are you excited to do it again?
I am willing to do it again. I recently went to go meet up with Sam to like figure out the costume fitting for the next one, and we're trying to make it more comfortable. But I told him one of my issues was wearing a beanie the whole time, and we were trying to get away from that. But I told him if I have to wear it again, I will. I just want to see if we can get out of it.
Yeah, you just want to try to show your beautiful hair.
Yeah. Before I go bald. But I think you were there on set sometimes where I would not be able to see out of one side. Like it was like, because of the mask part, I couldn't see out of that. So that was like completely out. And then the other one had the contact. So I could see out of one eye, but it had a little ring around it.
Yeah, because it's got a design on it.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how my vision was going.
Wow.
Pretty good.
That sounds difficult.
And you get used to it. Weirdly, like when I had to use both eyes, that was difficult.
So I just did a Voldemort sketch where I was Voldemort in it. And we did like the full face prosthetic, bald cap, everything.
Yikes.
And at the beginning, it was uncomfortable and it was weird to see myself with no hair. But then like by the end of the night, when I had to like take the face off and have a nose again and have hair again, I like I was like, no, this is what I look like.
Yeah.
I gotten used to it. And then when I got hair again, I was like, this is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we should shave all this off because I'm used to being bald now.
You weirdly get used to it fast.
You do. Your body adjusts. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. So second one's coming soon, hopefully. You're filming it soon. You guys are raising money right now.
Yes.
Looking for like $2,000. You have no idea because you're not a producer, right?
I shared the link.
Yeah.
Yeah. GoFundMe to raise money for what's it called? Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it.
I wanted it to be called Under the Moon.
Oh, I get that.
But I never pitched that to Sam.
This is why you don't have creative input.
This is why I got a little happy with the first one. I had a little creative input, and then he was like, "No." Under the Moon. But then he wants to make a third one. What would you call the third one? Under the Stars? Ooh. Under the Clouds? Come on.
Under a different sun. Things have changed. It's been a whole new world, you know?
Exactly. It's been 6 moons since then.
No, I am glad that he's doing the GoFundMe, though, because obviously the first one had a bunch of cost into it that as an independent you just eat. And then now this one he's doing during a pandemic. So he's got the added struggle of trying to be as safe as possible.
Right.
Which I hope you guys all are.
Yes.
But
I already got it once. I don't want to get it again.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
When I went to New York, I came back and I had it.
Oh, well.
Surprise.
Yeah. Oh, Alfredo. You just couldn't stop, though.
had to go.
Yeah, you're just too much of a shark. If you stop swimming, you'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
I mean, you are hustling, though, like, to get this art off the ground, you know? Like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. I feel like we all feel like we're not doing enough because it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to hear, so thank you. But it's just like, I'm still working a 9 to 5. I'm still average.
Yeah, I'm still a normal.
Yeah, I had the worst moment at, not my current job, but I was working a temp job for a while, and it was like the end of the day. We were already like waiting in line to clock out, and I was standing talking to no one. Everyone's just talking amongst each other, happy. And I was just looking around and thought to myself, fucking normies. And I felt so shitty about that. I'm not better than them just because I don't want to be here. Like, come on, dude, relax. So yeah.
A thing I regret to this day is when I was a younger man, and I was probably like 19. I was already an aspiring filmmaker. I was working on my second feature film. I was an auteur.
Yeah.
And I was also working a retail job at the mall.
Okay.
And I was talking to another guy who works there, and we were like talking about age and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm 32." And I just looked at him. 19-year-old me looked at him and went, "I'd kill myself if I was working this job when I'm 32.
Oh my God.
And like nowadays I'm like, well, I'm getting pretty close to that 32. I guess I should kill my like.
Did you actually say that out loud?
Yeah, I definitely did.
Oh my God.
It was said as in joke. It was said in jest.
Yeah.
And like he laughed and I laughed, but now I feel really shitty about it.
Yeah. Still keeps you up at night.
It does. And
he probably doesn't even remember it, but you remember it.
Yeah. I will forever be like, oh God, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
He was happy though.
Right.
And like he is enjoying his life, doing his thing. And I'm just over here being like, and part of me felt that. You know what I mean? Like it was real for 19-year-old me that like I couldn't imagine a world where I would not be a successful artist by 32. And like to this day, I still sometimes am like, oh man, I need to fucking get on the move. Like,
yeah, when I was 18, I told myself, if I'm not living comfortably off music by 30, I'm done. I'm giving up.
You can't give up.
That's what my wife says, but I think secretly I'm not going to give up, but I'm giving myself that deadline.
Yeah.
As artists, we have to give ourselves deadlines. Otherwise we don't do anything.
You're definitely right. Cause like, that's the thing is that since we're working for ourselves, we have to give ourselves a deadline to get the job done, but you'll make it. You're good, man. You're talented.
I'm starting to see some actual like paths that I could take. Like early on, I always thought I have to be Drake, and you don't have to be Drake. I have to be comfortable. And there's a lot of things that I'm seeing where we're like, even like making music for film is very lucrative. And so I don't know. I want to live off music, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. No, I definitely think you will. Like, your music is really good. So
Thank you.
we'll talk about making music more. So you've made what, 2-3 albums that are on Spotify?
I've made two albums.
And are those all like self-produced then? Because I know you don't make the music. How does that work for you? Do you hire someone to make that, or do you just have friends that are nice enough to you?
No, the definitely not the second one. But as a rapper, it's actually very easy to get a hold of beats. Okay. I think it's easier than it's ever been because online platforms like YouTube or BeatStars, you basically just look up an artist that you think you want to make music like, and you can purchase a kind of a lease. You can lease the beat and get a contract for like, you can sell this many copies. You don't own the beat, and you have to split royalties with the producer.
Got it.
Which you always have to split royalties, so that's not new. And but that's how those first two got made.
Okay. I
just basically just looked up like beats, and I was like, oh, I like this one. I'll write something to this or something to this, and that's just how they get made. It's easy.
That's cool. And so then you made them pretty much yourself.
Yeah, I wrote everything, and so these were made when I still thought writing had to be done 100% by me. And so I wrote everything, but then the first one I recorded at home and sent off to somebody so they could do the mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
And then they sent me back the final product, and I was able to put it out. The second one, I actually went to a recording studio.
Here in KC?
Yeah, in KC.
Okay.
And I was working with a engineer that goes by Ori A, if any artists are listening.
Yeah.
And we worked on the project together, where it was kind of like he would give me some tips, but mostly when I went in there, the song was done, and there would be like, he'd be like, what if you did this way? And I'd be like, all right. And basically that's how it got made. But since then, most of the stuff that I've been making has been like produced on my own, because that's how you retain ownership.
Yeah.
And that's huge to like be able to keep that. And another thing is that when you lease the beat, they still have the right to sell it to anybody else.
Yeah. So somebody else can make a song that sounds just like your song. Yeah.
I've made a song to a certain beat, and I love that song. And then I heard on Spotify somebody had the same beat, and I was like, man. So it's originality,
yeah,
and ownership. That's why I started producing my own stuff.
So it's like For the Love, all produced by you, or
no?
Okay.
Nothing that I've released has been solely produced by me.
Got it. So you're working on that's the goal for the next album.
Yes, the next one is going to be solely produced by me with some help, because I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the song I'm Not Your Enemy for Under the Sun. We were kind of on a deadline, so I kept telling my friend, like, hey, we got to make the song. But it was more up to me to actually get a rough cut of it. I started producing and started messing with it. And then when I sent it to him, he was able to see what I was looking for. And then we sat down for like 3 weeks back to back and just like thought, okay, well, what can we add? What can we change? And I had him add a verse so he could tell a perspective from him. And that's how we ended up with the song. But I actually had to go in and like start producing, because otherwise the song wasn't going to make it for the movie.
So that's awesome. So that song is fully produced by you then? Or
by both of us?
By both? That's awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was excited because it's the first song where ownership is between me and a friend, like 100%, him 50% and me 50%.
Yeah.
So no one can take that away from us.
That's incredible.
Except Sam. I'm just kidding.
No, you can take it from Sam.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, man. You didn't pay.
Exactly. Got to renegotiate that contract with Sam.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome though. So then, as a independent rapper, I don't know if do you consider yourself a musician?
I don't consider myself a musician.
Okay.
Because I don't play an instrument. So.
I just almost said musician, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
But so as an independent rapper, obviously, and I've talked about this on other episodes of the podcast, for you, shows are a big thing.
Yes.
Which are impossible right now.
Yeah.
Beyond that, like, have you ever sold merch? Like, do you sell CDs? Do you sell Austin Ace t-shirts? Do you...
We did have some shirts pressed up for... I'm sure we still have them somewhere, but when we did shows, my friend would bring out a table and have the whole merch set up. And
was that did that seem like a lucrative, like, is that a business plan for you, or is it not as much, especially now that there's no shows?
I think right now it hurts more.
Yeah. Because
you're spending all this money. There's definitely avenues that I would like to pursue merch. But right now, with the lack of popularity, you end up spending more than you actually make.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're just holding on to a bunch of shirts, and like, if it's a small size and a lot of people that you come across aren't small, then you're not selling that shirt.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely a avenue that I would like to pursue in the future. As far as CDs, I don't know if CDs are that.
You think they're dead? Are they dead?
I think people love them for the sake of having the CD.
Yeah.
But most people aren't going to listen to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's really about funneling. Is it all about funneling plays to Spotify then, or?
I think that's where you could get the most.
So that's so that's what you want. You want people to listen to you on Spotify.
Yes, okay. But Spotify pays us crap.
Yeah.
They pay us like 0.00416 cents.
Jesus. That's terrible.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could go like that far. I think I've gotten like one check from music that way, and I'm like, this took forever.
Yeah.
Like, this is trash. I don't want to wait for another one.
I get checks from Amazon monthly for between 28 cents and like 53 cents. It's super useful. Yeah,
definitely. Well, that's why with the streaming stuff, I set it to like $100 cap, where it's like, don't send me money unless it's $100.
Yep. Yeah. Amazon doesn't have that option.
Once. That would be nice. That'd be a good option.
They should. Yeah, they definitely should. Because instead of seeing my 50 cents every once in a while,
then you would get $100.
Yeah.
Every 2 years.
I don't even think it's that, because if it's 50 cents a month, that's $6 a year.
Yeah, but I was gonna go buy your movies and stream them.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
just
that.
To get those numbers up. Oh, I'm a huge fan of. Is it Group?
Yeah.
I love that web series, man.
Dude, thank you. Thank you.
I was sad when I ran out of episodes.
Me too. It just became unsustainable as a idea because it needed so many people in one room at a time.
Gotcha.
And scheduling and like, if you notice from episode 1 to episode 2, one actress changes, and then we had another actress that was going to drop out, and we'd already filmed half of the next 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. So I was like, either we scrap everything we've already shot. Like, it just didn't.
Yeah.
It's still an idea I would love to revive.
Yeah, man, I think it's a great web series.
And it's a script I've worked on even more and more. So it'll never be fully dead for me.
So you had like where you were going with it?
Oh yeah. It was 10 episodes, which edited into a 45-minute pilot that I was going to try to shop around at festivals and then try to sell as a TV series.
Nice.
So it had a lot of plans, and then it died. That one's a heartbreaking one, but I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, man.
I did enjoy it. I have like this idea of a web series that I wanted to write, and I never really thought like I could do it. And then one day we were scrolling through like you guys' YouTube page, and we started watching it like super late, like 1 a.m, and we finished it that night.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And then I was like, well, I could definitely make the web series. Yeah. It's not getting made, but for that moment, I felt like I could.
Dude, well, I'll send you the original like 10 episode script so you can see how the story unfolded.
That would be awesome if you did.
Yeah.
That. I need closure.
I mean, like I said, it was intended to be a pilot, so it doesn't super close, but it's got a feeling. You'll have a feeling.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
Oh, man, that's great. I think we're on to my last couple of questions.
All right.
So my second to last question is, because we're all artists, I love to know what you're consuming. Like, what art are you taking in? Like, who do you listen to? What, actually, before I get to there, we'll get back to that.
Okay.
I'm curious. I realize I forget, and I've already asked this to another, like, local rapper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued on how you think because Kansas City does have a rap scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's somewhat famous for that strange music rap scene.
Yeah.
How do you feel like it affects you and like your level of rap and what you guys at Black Fam Entertainment's doing?
I think for a lot of people, and this is gonna sound like I'm bragging, but I am, but mainly for them, for my friends. I think for a lot of people, it's a breath of fresh air because they sound so different than what's going on in the Kansas City music scene.
Yeah.
But I think personally, for me, I was never much of a fast rapper. Like, I come from Texas, so like everything's kind of slowed down and you just like kind of ride the beat. But coming here, it was like everyone raps fast. Like, if you can't rap fast, you can't rap. That's like the bottom line. So it has pushed me to like rap fast, and for a long time, I think it kind of hindered me because I couldn't do it and I couldn't enunciate properly. But I think it's great. I think it gives all of us a sense of, oh, we can do it. We can get to that level.
Okay. Do you like, so this is just a dumb question because I'm not a musician, like being a local rapper, doing local rap shows, is that like, is getting to be on one of those shows a possibility? Is that like a thing that like you're working towards, or are you doing your own thing and you don't like need them? If you know what I
mean. Getting on like a strange music.
Yeah. Is that like a way that you're like, oh, I could break into it if I could just get on a strange music show that'll like get me more fan bases? Is that kind of how? Because like as a stand-up comic, my whole like the business model is like do a bunch of shows as like the opener or as the middle or as a feature until enough people like see you and think that you're funny and they start following you, and then eventually people know who you are and will go see a show for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, is that kind of how music
it's kind of the same. Yeah, it's kind of the same. You just do every show that you can until more people want to see you than that want to see them.
Yeah, exactly. So you're always looking for like the bigger show to try to put yourself in front of more people.
There's definitely a sense of pride of we're saying like, I don't need strange music.
Yeah.
But if they called and were like, hey, do you guys want to open for us? I'm not gonna be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to perform in front of thousands of people. Thanks. Like, that'd be stupid. So no, I would definitely love to like open for them.
So, and then another dumb question is that like, I have a lot of friends that are in the like indie music scene in Kansas City. And I feel like at those shows, I always see like people doing this like punk, like, or solo, like rock music. I haven't found a lot of the like indie rap shows. Like, where are those happening? Where, like,
so a lot of times we performed at the Roxy. I think that's close to where you live.
Down in Shawnee. Yeah, it's right by us. Yeah.
And there's the Riot Room in Kansas City.
Okay.
Which is super, super huge on hip hop and rock.
So then do you guys do you produce your own shows in the way of you're reaching out to these venues and
Not at first.
okay.
First, in order to get in the door, you kind of just reach out to the promoter, and the promoter will put you on.
Got it.
But my friend has a good relationship with some of the owners, and he's able to put on his own shows.
Awesome.
On a night that maybe he doesn't have anything booked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I hope that all those venues keep existing.
Yeah.
And I hope that once this pandemic is over, I can come see a show.
Yeah, for sure.
I would love that. Your music is awesome.
Yeah, and I've seen you do stand-up, man. Come on.
I know. I'm a bad friend if I don't come see your show. You're right.
Right. Well, you did have me on your podcast, so I guess we're even.
Okay. Good. I'm glad
we're good. We're good.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, I will ask then. What are you taking in? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading?
What am I listening to? I've been listening to a lot of rap. Benny the Butcher is a rapper from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Really good rapper. Really old schoolish, not in the sense of 80s, but the 90s, real gritty stuff. So I've been listening to him just because I want to step up my lyrical ability. So I'm how do they do it?
Got it. Yeah.
But I've been listening to a lot of singers too, because I want to learn how to songwrite better. So I've been listening to Quinn 92. It's spelled really weird. It's Quinn XCI. It's Roman numerals.
Perfect.
92.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, I for the longest I didn't know how to pronounce his name. But John Bellion is another one that will forever be on my playlist. Mike Posner. Just a lot of good songwriters. I feel for a while I've been listening to more pop than rap, because rap I'm oh, I already know how to do that. I want to know how to write songs.
Yeah, that's cool that you're branching out because you want to learn from what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing where I was talking about different avenues that I could take, as far as I don't have to be Drake, but I could write for Drake. I could write for Justin Bieber. I just want to be able to get in those rooms, so I need to perfect that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, you're a really good writer, man. So
Thank you.
That's definitely a venue.
But as far as TV, I've been watching Cobra Kai, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it.
What?
So my wife has never seen Karate Kid.
I've never seen it either.
Oh, but do you like Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai is it's they do enough flashbacks to kind of fill you in, and I know the general story of Karate Kid.
So that's why I was always oh, we should watch Cobra Kai, and she was I haven't seen Karate Kid, and I was I guess that killed that conversation.
I guess we won't. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it, but I know the general story.
Yeah,
kid gets bullied, he gets trained and does the whole wax on, wax off thing, and then he ends up winning. That's all I know about Karate Kid.
Cool.
And
but you enjoyed the show.
But with watching the show, they flash back enough and reference it enough to where I'm oh, okay, I know why he hates him. And yeah, but it's a really good show, man. I just started season 3.
I'll have to check it out.
Yes.
All right.
Highly recommend it.
So then the last question is, if you could give yourself, when you were starting this career path of music and acting, a piece of advice, or if you could give somebody who was looking for a similar career path to the one you have had a piece of advice, what would you give them?
You'll get better.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. For the longest, I felt like I wasn't good. Just being surrounded by people that were. Did you freeze?
Just a little, but I still see you moving, I think. No, we froze.
Did you freeze? Oh, man. This is the worst time to... Oh, the sound is back. There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so you'll get better is your advice?
Yes, you'll get better. For a long time, I felt like I was the worst one in my group of friends. And I think through no one really telling me that I suck, I got better because I was able to keep trying. And I had a friend, and this is probably the last story that I'll tell, but I had a friend who we were basically doing this, coming up the same way. We were in high school, we were friends, and we each had a girlfriend. My girlfriend, now my wife, just encouraged me and was like, oh yeah, I can see the potential, or that's a good song, I like that song, and stuff like that. To the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep making music. And my friend, his girlfriend, was like, yeah, maybe rapping isn't for you. Maybe that's not really what you should be doing. Maybe you should look into something else. And I always thought, now looking back, like the differences in between, like how our day-to-day was going, like it's like all that was necessary for me to get to this level where I'm like, I think I'm good now. Like I can make music. I can confidently get in a room with someone and be like, let's work on something. I had the confidence to tell Sam I can write a song for the movie, you know, and I would have never done that.
Yeah. So it's not only you'll get better, it's like surround yourself with people who want you to get better and will help you get better.
Yeah.
And also encourage you, like give you constructive criticism and encouragement.
Yeah. I mean, if I could give myself all the advice that I wanted to, yeah, that would definitely be. But if I had to give myself one piece of advice, you'll get better. Okay. Don't worry, buddy. Like you suck now, but actually, maybe I wouldn't say that to my younger self.
Yeah, you're not being an encouraging friend there.
because I knew that I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And so like he would know. It'd be coming from myself, so he would know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I often think about like if I would go back and just be like, hey, learn how to play the piano, learn how to sing guitar if you want to, like just do all this stuff, and that way I won't have to struggle that bad.
Hey man, learn some more stuff so I don't have to learn it now.
Yeah.
Piece of shit, lazy dude.
Yeah, like if you learn it when you're 16, when we're 26, we can be pros.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
So to not talk about the same book 100 times, but the book Show Your Work I mentioned earlier, he talks in it about how, like, as an artist and a creator, we all take in so much stuff. And then he also wrote the book Steal Like an Artist, if you've heard of that.
I have not. I'm going to write these down.
Yeah. It's a book about how an artist takes in a bunch of content, finds out what's good, and then creates their own stuff based on like learning what's good from other people.
Okay.
But he talks in Show Your Work, he talks about how we all have good taste. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And having good taste makes us want to make our own art. But when we start, our art sucks. And it doesn't equal our taste.
Yeah.
And like, you have to keep trying until your art maybe someday gets close to what you like to consume.
And we're our biggest critics, so it might never get there, but other people might think so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I've gotten that. Like most artists, if you're like, oh, I like this thing, and they're like, you like that? Really? Like, and we're very like smug about it. Like, you listen to that song, really? Like, it's I don't even listen to the radio, or like, or like some people who write movies are like, yeah, I didn't like that movie. I didn't like this about the movie. I'm like, I wasn't even looking at that.
So that's the hard thing, is that like, obviously to become an artist, you have to take in other art, analyze it, learn what's good about it, and steal like an artist. Yeah. But to not be an annoying asshole, you have to learn how to shut off that critique brain and just enjoy some shit sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Like, because I went to film and theater school, and in it, you become the worst audience member. Like, they teach you as like a kid in theater school to go to shows, and we're supposed to go to shows, and then we have to write these scathing critiques of what wasn't good enough. But after enough times of doing that, you can't even go to a show and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I had to relearn how to enjoy watching theater.
Yeah.
And like, I understand the purpose of critique, but I also am trying to now be like a staunch supporter of like loving something and just saying what you loved about a thing, or like, I don't know, man.
It's tough. It's hard to find that balance. I can now listen to the radio and be like, yeah, I see why the song works.
Yeah.
This is cool. I'm probably never going to listen to it again, but I see why it works. It's cool.
Yeah. And like, cool. And if you don't like it, what I'm trying to do personally is quit being like, no, that movie's bad. That movie wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Like, just being like, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Other people might like it. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But that also sounds like hate. If you say that, it's like, I like it for you, but not for me. No.
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah, no, I get it. Because
my
nephew is 18 years old, and he's always talking about like current music, and I'm like, nah.
You're too old for that.
Yeah, I'm too old for this stuff.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I heard about your podcast a while ago. I think when I went to your house, and I was like, oh, I want to be on it. And I was like, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask to be on it. I'm a star, damn it. He will ask.
I'm so glad that we talked, and I hope to see you a bunch more when this pandemic is over.
All right, so I take it you're not coming out to the set when we're filming Under the Moon?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It really depends. I'm just trying to be as responsible and safe as I can be.
I understand.
And yeah.
So you didn't audition?
I did not audition, and it broke my heart not auditioning. I'll be honest.
Oh man, that puts me on this whole trail. I know we're saying bye, but we even did test footage for the original Under the Sun.
I know,
and you were so good, in that test footage. You're mean.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I love what Sam's doing, and I'm glad he's doing it. I just don't think personally I'm ready to be out in the world.
That makes sense.
Making stuff. I'm going to keep trying to make stuff with my wife. And once the world is safer and there are more vaccines, I'll probably come back out to filmmaking.
Look at you, the responsible filmmaker.
Yeah. I
like it.
I'm trying to learn that I'm not running out of time. You know?
Not 19-year-old you would hate you right now.
For real. He would probably be like, ugh, I would kill myself.
Yeah, for sure. And then feel bad about it like 10 years later.
Yeah, but not until then.
Yeah, not before then.
He did not feel bad that night. Not at all.
Nope. We slept like a baby.
Yep. And we haven't since, though.
Wow.
Oh, man. It's been great talking to you, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it was nice to catch up. It's been a long time.
It has. It's been like a year. I guess I should ask, where should people follow you? What's the best?
You can literally look me up anywhere as Austin Ace Music.
Okay.
So that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you do the whole facebook.com/Austin Ace Music.
Give it a like.
Yeah, give it a nice little like, a follow,
subscribe
on YouTube. My YouTube's been dormant, but still.
Follow him on Spotify for that new album.
On Spotify, yes. There's new music coming soon. Not that soon, but soon.
But eventually.
Yeah, someday.
New music coming someday. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you.
Have a good one. All right, there you go. That was Alfredo. Isn't he awesome? Like I said, please go listen to his music. It's all on Spotify. He's got tons of it. It's great. Go watch him in Under the Sun. See what we were talking about in this interview. See those scenes. See where he says he did a bad job. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't remember. No, I'm kidding. He didn't. He did great. And then hear his song at the end. It's absolutely incredible. Go to the GoFundMe. Help Toddy Brothers keep this set safe by giving money to their new film, Industrial Evolution. You can find the link on their Facebook page. And like I said, maybe go buy the Way Back's album. I just love it. I'm going to keep making ads for it. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, rate, review, do all those things so I can keep helping others tell you about their art and keep getting art out to you guys. It really helps. And if you want to help even more, go to IX Film Productions Patreon, patreon.com/IXFilmProductions. Give us $1 a month. It really helps us. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.